Okay, so hi there, everyone. It's lovely to be back on this beautiful Friday afternoon. It's around 2 p.m. or just after 2 p.m. here in South Africa. So I'm just going to wait a few minutes, see if anyone joins us, and then we're going to talk more Ielts. Of course, today we are focusing more on the whole reading part of the test. Not always easy, but I'm going to give you, a few tips and a few tricks to understand the reading test better, and of course, just to help you get a better score. So let's just give it a few moments. Like and of course share it with your friends and family so that we can help them too. Hi, Mikhail. Okay, so let's give it another few minutes. Again, I'm not going to keep you guys for too long, because especially when it comes to the replay, it can definitely take quite a while to go through it. So let's just give it another minute, and then we'll go through that Ielts. Yeah, Ben looks very happy. Ben sounds very happy. Ben is our winner of our January special, our competition. He's won 5 free classes. As far as I can remember, he also wants to do some Ielts, so congratulations to you, Ben. But in any case, let us get started. So, Ielts reading. Now, when it comes to the reading, you should first of all be prepared for 40 questions. You get an hour to complete this, but please do not, whatever you do not think that 1 hour is loads of time, because you will be fooled. They will catch you. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to be focusing on is what type of questions can you expect. That is what I'm going to focus on now. So, generally speaking, there are around 14 different types of questions that you can be given. So you really do need to prepare for all types. So you like I said, you're only going to have 1 hour. You'll have to read 3 passages and answer 40 questions. These questions are divided into different types of questions which you're going to have to complete. Each passage has around, I would say, 3 to 4 different types of questions to answer. If you take a look in the group, under the file section, I've uploaded a very good example of a full reading test, and you can use that to help you and of course to guide you. So the very first type of question I'd like us to focus on is matching headings questions. So for an example, you have to choose a heading from a list of different headings, and then you have to match the paragraph to that actual heading. I would say the skills that you need for that specific task is you need to understand the section as such. Okay, you don't have to understand each and every word, but you do have to have some form of understanding of the section. We say generally that you need to understand the gist, so the overall meaning of that paragraph. Okay, so the next one that I'd like us to be focusing on now is the true or false. They do try to trick you here, especially because they'll give you a sentence and you have to say if it's true or false. And there are going to be some questions where it's neither true or false. And in that particular case, you would have to write not given. Okay. So it's yes, no, true, false, and not given. Right. So, for an example, decide if the information is correct. Okay. The next one is matching paragraph information questions. So the task here is to match the information given in the question, okay, with the information that you find in one of the paragraphs in the passage that you have to read. Okay. Number 4, we have summary completion. So you have to basically complete a summary by filling in the gaps. So you'll get a paragraph, excuse me, and you'll see there are a whole bunch, normally around 5, missing words. Okay, so you would have to then read through the whole reading activity, and then you'd have to put in the missing words. We also have sentence completion questions. That kind of speaks for itself. You just have to complete one sentence. There will be a gap, of course, but of course just fill in the gap with the word from the passage. You will have multiple choice questions. Of course, multiple choice questions will be choose A, B, C, or D. You will be given the answer. You just have to choose the right one. And just by the way, it's not as easy as it sounds, because that's one of the places where they will try to trick you. They will try and, give 2 answers that are very similar. It could be just, it could be one word. Just one word. So, yeah, be careful. We have number 7, which is list selection, where you have to choose the correct option from a list of words, information, names. So it's similar, but it's also different to multiple choice. And this is because the questions, they only relate, to one long list of possible answers. So there could be 3 right answers, there could be 2, there could be 5. It all depends on the test. Another one that they like to use is called choosing a title. Now, this is where you would have to choose the most appropriate title for the passage that you have read. We also have categorization questions, where you have to decide which category the information belongs to from a list. We have matching sentence endings, which is number 10. This is like completing sentences by matching the start of the sentence with the correct ending given in a list. There is table completion. Of course, you have to complete the table using the correct word from the passage. We have flowchart completion questions. Flowchart completion questions, you have to complete the flowchart using the correct words from the passage. Second last one is diagram completion questions, where you have to label the diagram. And finally, short answer questions, and this would be answering questions regarding the details of the passage. So there are generally 14 types of questions that you can expect. It's not to say that you'll get them each time, but you can expect them. Okay. Now, excuse me, now focusing a bit on just a few tips. So my very first tip is definitely prepare yourself well in advance. Depending on your level of English, you do need time to prepare for this mentally, emotionally. Oops, sorry about that. The connection just paused us for and again. So try to develop your skills, okay, with regards to each question type. Skimming and scanning. So what I mean by skimming and scanning is you need to be able to read quite fast. Just because you have 1 hour to complete the reading section doesn't mean that it's a lot. You shouldn't focus for a very, very long time on each question. If you think about it, there are 40 questions. If you take 1 minute to answer each question, that's already 40 minutes of the 60 gone. So you need to allocate enough time to actually answer your questions, or else you're not going to finish. So you do need to improve your skimming, your scanning, and basically your speed reading. You need to develop your speed reading skills, and know that you do not need to understand each and every word in the actual paragraph. You need to be able to understand the gist. So again, the overall meaning. Okay. Just like any part of any language, you do need to develop your vocabulary. So, try to prepare yourself by reading every day, even if it's just an article, something small, so that you can, just prepare yourself and grow your vocabulary. You do need to improve your vocabulary if you are going to succeed at this test. Another tip that I can give you is with regards to keywords. Each question is going to have some form of keyword to help you locate the information in the passage. So this will, of course, help you to spot the right answer. So what you need to do is to learn and to train yourself to spot keywords and, of course, to use them correctly. With regards to grammar, question types like the summary completion that I told you about, sentence completion, these require that sentences are grammatically correct. So, you can't just write in anything there. The sentences have to be grammatically correct and, of course, spelt correctly. So please take that into account. Of course, this does mean that grammar can help you spot the right answer. So to develop your grammar skills is also quite important. Another one, getting used to some difficult passages. It doesn't matter whether you are going to be doing the academic IELTS or whether you're going to do the general training IELTS. You need to learn to read difficult passages. Yesterday, or actually not yesterday, last night, I did a IELTS listening lesson with a student of mine, and the topic was about geography. Definitely not an easy topic to actually read about or listen to anything about it. I mean, we're not geographers, so it's very important to be able to read some more challenging, more challenging texts. Practice. I cannot emphasize this to you enough. Practice. Not just practice makes perfect, but perfect practice makes perfect. All right. One thing I can guarantee you is, by doing some practice reading tests, you'll be able to get an idea of what is expected of you. You'll be able to have an idea of what types of questions, what types of topics. But of course, remember, like I said to you last week, you cannot study these things verbatim. You cannot study it in parrot fashion, because they chop and change the topics all the time for this reason in particular. Okay. Know your weaknesses. Understand that we all have weaknesses, and it's not something we really like to think about, but we all have weaknesses. So know your weaknesses, because unless you know your weaknesses, you won't really know where to improve. So focus on those weaknesses, understand them, and then of course we can help you move towards improving them. Be realistic. Let's face it. We do have to be realistic. So if your level of English is not strong, you can't expect to get a band score of 7 if you have decided to prepare for your Ielts test 2 weeks before the time. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry, but I have to be cruel to be kind, and of course I'm honest. So please, if you are going to be preparing for this Ielts test, please ensure, like I said to you last week, at least 6 months in advance. If not more, the more the better. Don't rush it. Try to just focus on improving, or else you're going to have to do it over and over and over again. So try to make sure that you start preparation at least 6 months in advance. Another tip that I can give you is, let's see, plan. Okay, plan your training for your Ielts reading. It can be whether you do it by yourself, whether you do it with a teacher. Try to develop your vocabulary. Try to learn how to paraphrase or to summarize. Practice different types of questions. Like I said, develop or try to work on developing your speed in trying to locate different types of information. Try to do the practice tests. Of course, it's not under exam conditions, but you can just gain the skills that you need. And yeah, just make sure that you are ready. Understand that this is a test. Understand that you are taking this test for a particular reason. Most of the time is you are going to immigrate, or you are going to study in an English-speaking country. And if you are going to take your move, and if you are going to take your studies, whichever one it is, you have to take this test very seriously. Nobody is trying to just sell lessons. I really do want to help you, so please, you do have to take this seriously in order for you to actually get a good score. Also remember that if you fail the first time, you're going to have to do it again and again and again, and this can be very demotivating. So rather, my biggest tip is rather take the time, prepare well in advance, and then get a good score. Okay. All right. So basically, that is that. I do hope that I've been able to shed some light on the IELTS reading test for you. Just to summarize, you get 1 hour to complete it, 40 questions, there are 3 sections, and you will more than likely get around 14 types of different questions, so be prepared for that. So please, thank you very, very much. It was lovely to be here again today, and I look forward to speaking to you next week. Take care, everyone. Bye.